Have you heard of bioluminescent bays? They are a spectacle that you have to see, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. There are only 5 in the entire world, and 3 of those are in Puerto Rico. Let me tell you everything I learned. I'll tell you the difference between all 3 in Puerto Rico and how to photograph them. Let's go.
Welcome to VO's Travel.
Where to go and what to see. With kids.
Or without. Okay, what is a bioluminescent bay? A bioluminescent bay has microscopic organisms called dinoflagellates. In fact, there are dinoflagellates all over the oceans and all over the world, but in bioluminescent bays, the concentration of those microscopic organisms is so dense that you can actually see them when they glow. These microscopic organisms light up when the water is disturbed, kind of like the same reaction a firefly has. And this chemical reaction is called bioluminescence. You can only see it at night, and the moon actually plays a big part in whether you can see the bioluminescence or not. Let me tell you all about that. So there are different phases of the moon. The full moon is when you can see the entire moon, and the opposite of that is the new moon. That is when it is completely dark, and that's the best time to go. The waning crescent and the waxing crescent are also great days to see the bio bay as well. And the reason that those days are best to go is because the moonlight will not be reflecting off of the water. You can find calendars like this to figure out which days are best to book your trip. Right now, I need to give a shout out to Matt Miller Film. All of the video I have used so far is his film, and he is an amazing photographer. So make sure you check out his website. I'll also link it in the description below. I will show you some of the film and video I took, and it is nothing compared to this, but he has captured the bio bay so amazingly well, and this is actually what it looks like to swim in the bio bays. The 3 different bio bays in Puerto Rico are a little bit different. 2 of them you can only take kayaks and boats out in, and 1 you can swim in. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So the 3 bio bays in Puerto Rico are the Laguna, Grande, and Fajardo, which is on the northeast part of the island. There's Mosquito Bay and Vieques, which is an island off of the mainland, and the bio bay in Parguera, which is on the southwestern part of the island. The first one, the Laguna Grande and Fajardo, is on the northeastern part of the island, like I said. And when you go there, you will meet your tour guide on a beach that is marked with a little white X right there. You will get in your kayak. There are 2 people per kayaks. And then you will start to kayak about a mile down some mangroves until you open up into the Laguna Grande, and that's where you will see the glow-in-the-dark water. Some of the water is visible during the mangrove trail as well. My husband and I did this tour about 12 years ago, and it was amazing because we didn't have anything to compare it to, but wait until you can swim in it. But like I said, you cannot swim in this one. One thing to be mindful of in Fajardo is the weight limit per kayak. It can range between 230 and 250 pounds, and they will weigh you on the beach. Another thing to keep in mind if you have children is the age limit. On most of them, you have to be at least 6 years old. The kayaking tours in Fajardo are approximately $59, and they range a little bit per tour company. My husband and I went on a kayaking bio bay tour in Fajardo about 10 years ago, and it was amazing, but we had no idea until just this last year how much better swimming in it actually was. Okay, let me tell you about Vieques. Vieques is part of Puerto Rico, and it is a tiny island off of the southeastern coast of Puerto Rico. There are 2 ways you can get there. You can take a ferry, where you would need to check out PuertoRicoFerry.com for information. Ferries generally cost $4 for adults and $2 for kids, and they run all day long. Or you can take a flight from the mainland of Puerto Rico to Vieques, and those generally cost around $50 to $60 per person. Vieques is similar to Fajardo, and it costs about $60 per person, and you can only kayak. You cannot swim in Vieques. In 2008, Vieques was named the brightest bio bay in the world by the Guinness Book of World Records. But I've been to Fajardo and Parguera, and let me tell you, they are just as magical. Something else to consider about Vieques is because it is its own island, you do need to take at least 1 full day, sometimes 2, out of your entire trip to make that day happen. Now let's talk about Parguera, the 3rd bio bay, and in my opinion, the best one. It's on the southwestern corner of Puerto Rico, and not to mention the bio bay, but the city itself has amazing restaurants to choose from and some great nightlife as well. It was a really pretty town to just walk around in. Just a little side note, all bio bay tours usually start around 7:30, and then they'll have a second option around 9 or 9:30 p.m. as well. The first one starts a little bit before sunset, and then the last one, if you choose the later one, you start out in actual full darkness. La Parguera also has these cute little shops to walk around in and check out if you're waiting for your tour as well. The music coming from all of the restaurants was so much fun. There are a lot of tour companies that will take you to the Bio Bay, but we chose Alili Tours, and we are so glad we did. Captain Ismail has his own private boat, so you are actually getting your own private tour. He is U.S. Coast Guard certified and has over 30 years of experience. He can fit up to 6 people on his boat and costs $150 for the first 3 passengers and $40 per person after that. A lot of other tour companies that take boats out for swimming in La Parguera pack their boats with 30 to 40 people, so it's definitely not a very quaint and personal experience like you do get when you hire Ishmael. Like I said, it's a private boat. He takes just 6 of you or less out on his boat, and you get a beautiful 25-minute boat ride past all of these amazing houses that are right on the water. He's very educational and has his degree in marine biology and will tell you all about it on your way. So if I didn't mention it before, La Parguera Bio Bay is the only one that you can swim in, and oh my word, like I said, my husband and I did a kayak tour about 10 years ago, but swimming in this water is absolutely magical, and I highly suggest you do the same. It is so amazing. One of my kids said she felt like she was a real-life Rapunzel when her hair glows in the movie. My son said he felt like he was swimming in space. My husband said it felt like you were in a real-life Avatar movie. If you bring goggles with you and swim underwater with your eyes open, obviously, it looks like stars are coming at you. It looks like you're literally swimming in space. This is such a magical experience, a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I'm so glad we got to do this. Okay, now how to photograph it. It's not easy. Matt Miller uses a Sony A7 III camera with a Sigma 24 1.4 lens. He's obviously very talented, and not all of us have that kind of equipment, but that's what he used, and he got, like I said, amazing footage. That's actually what it's like. When I was researching this before our trip, I was told that an iPhone 15 Pro will get you decent pictures and video. I have an iPhone 14 Pro, and let me show you what that did. So this is a picture of putting your hand in the water as the boat was going by. That's the footage that I got. And then these are pictures of my family members in the water splashing around. You can kind of make out bodies, but not too well, especially compared to what Matt Miller does. And then this is the video I got of my kids jumping into the water with my iPhone 14 Pro. So I suggest if you try videoing it with your own phone or camera, get something nice like Matt Miller does, or at least an iPhone 15 Pro or better. And then this is video of my hand in the water as the boat was leaving the Bio Bay. And then a way to enhance your photos, this is what I got to begin with, but if you bump up the exposure, if you bump up the shadows, and you bump up the brightness, it will enhance your picture and make it look a lot better than it will originally. So if you get discouraged with what you first shot, after you get back to edit your photos, do those things, and it will make it a little bit brighter and make your pictures just a little bit better than they were to start with. I want to thank Matt Miller again for allowing me to use his footage because it is just absolutely breathtaking. Go check out his YouTube channel. He has an Instagram. He has a website. I will link all of those in the description. Thank you so much for watching my video. I have a lot of videos about where to stay in San Juan, where to stay in Ponce, things to do. We found a private swimming hole with a waterfall that was absolutely beautiful. We spent a full week in Puerto Rico, and it was one of the best trips ever. So make sure you check out the videos I already have posted. Look for more to come. And as always, I hope that you remember to choose joy and take all of the pictures.